Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Friday with Friends. It's your boy, Brother Gaia. We are back again today with another preview and breakdown of one Fight Night 40, which will be live this Saturday, the 14th of February at 4 a.m. South African time on YouTube. Full event. No Thailand paid subscriptions. The only so you can watch the first few fights. The full event's going to be on YouTube, so you can catch it there. It will be also on Amazon Prime, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is a Prime video card. Don't see the Prime name there anymore, but I think this is still a Prime video card. But yeah, much love to everybody. Welcome back. Like, share, and subscribe. Go check out our little mini preview of this fight card with Nick Atkin himself, the legend, the GOAT, number one journalist there for One Championship and the Bangkok Post and Sportskeeda. Much love to him. Much love to the guy himself. He spread back that love back to us yesterday and on his live this morning. We did the full media day interviews of all the fighters that are competing on this Friday, on this fight night, 40 card. Go check it out. It's on YouTube. It's on this platform right now. I'll even leave the links to all those videos in our description box. Both our interview with Nick and Nick's interviews with all the fighters. A lot of good insight for what's to come this weekend. But okay, well, as always, I will start at the top of the card. You guys can like, share, and subscribe. Sit back. Let's break these fights down together and give me your opinions on these fights in particular in the comment section. But okay, I'll bring up the fight card on screen. It is one Fight Night 40. I must say, I know if you guys have watched our interview with Nick Atkin yesterday, you will know that I briefly gave my pick for the main event, where we will start as always at the top of the card. And I also said yesterday that I was going to release our preview for this fight card yesterday, but I didn't. And the reason for that is because not only was I super exhausted, but I also had to really rethink my decisions, right? So when we did the interview with Nick Atkin, I did agree with him that Stella Hemetsberger would win this fight, especially because it's her discipline, it's her domain, it's kickboxing, it's what she's best at. And the taller fighter, obviously. And I mentioned quite a few things yesterday as to why Stella would win this fight and why I picked her. But at the same time, when I was done with the video and I had time to think about it, I was like, you know what? I didn't actually put together my notes for this fight card. I didn't do my prep. You know what I mean? So I thought to myself, that was my initial response to Nick's response about the fight. And when I thought about it, I had the pleasure of, thinking about it properly. And I was like, you know what? Let me revert that. I don't think my decision was fully motivated. I think my decision was based on just on things that anyone can see in the fight, especially when you watch their first fight. It's like you can see those things being advantages in the rematch, especially at kickboxing. But I had to rethink, and I was like, no, Ross, just relax. Take some time, watch the tape, make your notes, be prepared properly, and then do the preview correctly. You know what I mean? And as you know, weekly we have our Betting Man segment, which will be live on tomorrow, actually Thursday. It will be around 9 p.m. South African time, which will probably be around, what's that, like 1 p.m. Eastern for the US market. So keep a look out there, check your local listings for that time. You can join us with our parlay episode. That's when we actually release our picks for this weekend. Now, we don't have any UFC this weekend. Thank you, Eddie, for sharing with me. We only have one Friday fights, and we have the one Fight Night 40. So we'll give you our our picks for those cards tomorrow. But for now, I'm just going to break down these fights and highlight X's and O's, statistics, and what could be the keys to victory for each fighter. But I'm not going to give you my picks. So I'm reverting my pick from yesterday with Stella Hemetsberger. I'm taking it back, and I will only give you my official picks tomorrow evening. All right, so let's get straight into it. This is for the strawweight kickboxing title. Jackie Buntan was interviewed by Nick Atkin, and she was talking about this fight, and we were all kind of wondering why it was not a rematch for the Muay Thai title instead of having it for the kickboxing title. It does give Stella the advantages here to claim both titles and kind of settle the rivalry. But hopefully Jackie does win for the fans, for the brand, for the promotion. I think if Jackie wins, it's going to not reignite, but it's going to stamp the rivalry. It's going to be 1-1. Both of them retain their title, or both of them will then have a title, and then we could, just like this match, have again champion versus champion, but this time it'll be 1-1. If Stella wins here, I think it kind of ends the rivalry. Personally, I don't think it should, but it probably would. But anyway, let's get into it. So Jackie's 28 years old, strawweight kickboxing champion. Record in one championship. He's currently standing at 7 wins, 2 losses, 0 no contest. 1 win by TKO, lost to Stella Hemetsberger by unanimous decision in the last fight. I think the only other loss was against, if I'm not mistaken, it was, what's the young lady's name again? Smella Sindel. There we go. Sindel, who's now competing at MMA. Stella Hemetsberger, 27 years old. She is the current strawweight Muay Thai champion in one championship. Her record in one championship is currently 4 wins, 0 losses, 0 no contest, 1 win by KO, 4 fight wins, 3 beating Jackie Buntan by unanimous decision. Now I've got my notes here. I've got my sticky notes on my screen right now. I'm looking at what I wrote down for this fight. And excuse me, it's over the side. Here we go. And I had to rewatch their first fight for me to start nailing down X's and O's here and what could happen, right? So right off the bat, what I noticed was headlines. This fight, apart from like what happened, I'm talking about the big takeaways and what their strengths are. And what I took away from this fight was Jackie definitely has the bigger gun. She's got the bigger gun. Straight up, she's got the bigger gun. She hits the harder between the two fighters. Even though she was knocked down twice in that first round, for the remainder of the fight, Jackie appeared to be the stronger fighter. She had the better and sharper boxing skills. A body shot, the left hook, a right hook, the pressure, the timing of that right hook is fantastic. I think she had the bigger weapon. Whenever she did land on on Stella, fucked up her nose, backed her up, rocked her a few times, had her going backwards, making a fight defensively for the remainder of that fight. That was the one big thing I took away from Jackie. Defensively, she has the habit of leaning back, but then when she leans back, that is fine, right? It's a very good evasive tool. But she does lean back with the hands down, and then almost instantly, like whiplashes herself forward into an attack. While doing that, she lets her guard down, and that's where Stella catches her throughout that fight. Even the 2 knockdowns came from that moment. But then also during the remainder of the fight, Jackie would still do that. Stella would still catch her. And that's actually where I find Stella to do her best work. Whenever Stella's out in the middle of the ring, pardon me, and they're striking over there, Stella doesn't really pop the jab, body shot, high kick. She doesn't do that. She doesn't throw out a number of combinations to sort of get Jackie to bring that defense down and have a feint on things or bite on any feints. Stella, what she does out in the open is she will look to switch, because she fights under the orthodox stance, so she will look to switch body kick, switch high kick. She might even throw a right high kick, but then follow up with the right straight. Like that's her weapons of choice out in the open. And then majority of the time she was being backed up with the pressure of Jackie. I'd forced Stella to fight counter striking. So she would kind of wait for Jackie to commit to something and then throw an elbow or throw a right straight, which led to the knockdown. She kind of waited for Jackie to do the lean back, and then when Jackie comes forward, she throws a left straight or a left hook, right hook or a right elbow. She will commit to an attack in those instances, right? But when they're out in the open and they kind of just measuring distance and walking around and painting on each other, when they're doing that, Stella doesn't throw much, and that was my big takeaway from it. So I had Jackie, stronger boxing. Stella has great counters, high kick, punch from the same side. She also has a weaker nose, as we saw it was broken in that first fight. She does have good distance management. She uses a lot of her tips to throw when she notices Jackie settles or sits down on a punch. Like, for example, Jackie will throw a jab or she'll throw a 2 to the body. But then when Jackie commits to now I'm gonna dart forward and land something big on you, like I'm gonna look for a kill shot. That's when Stella throws out a side push kick. Poof! Every time. She throws it out every single time in that moment. That's to obviously set off the rhythm and let Jackie reset, right? And it's a good defensive tool as well from Stella. That's also how she manages her range really well. But for me, Jackie needs to be on the front foot. She has to do what she did for the 4 rounds of that first fight. That's stay on the front foot, attack the body a lot. Maybe introduce some calf kicks. Jackie barely threw any kicks in that first fight, and I would love to see her throw some calf kicks. Now I know in the interview with Nick Atkins, she was talking about new things and how to use the lean back at different ways and different iterations as well to not only be defensive but to be offensive at the same time. I would like to see her utilize some more calf kicks, whether it's inside or outside. In this fight, it will be outside because it's the same stance. chop it, chop that leg. You need to stop Stella from moving away. Chop that leg, keep the pressure, hit the body more regularly than the head. The headshots will always be there. She was landing clean on Stella Hemetsberger. But I think if she hits the body more regularly and harder, it will set up that power shot to the head a little bit more frequently for Jackie. For Stella, she doesn't have to change much. I think she fought a flawless fight, in my opinion, in terms of there's a strong argument that Jackie won she did win 3 of the 5 rounds, but apparently they gave the 4th round to Stella. I watched that fight back. I actually saw Jackie winning 4 of the 5 rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5. For Stella, she needs to do what she did in the first fight, right? And that is dominate that range. Right? She had Jackie pressurizing her a lot, but not necessarily keeping her in a phone booth, where Jackie does her best work. I think Stella needs to do what she did. Be sharp on the counters, time Jackie's entries, crack her with some good shots as she comes in. And when you're out in the open, don't just throw the switch left kick, right? Set that shit up. If I was Jackie, if I'm Stella, you can go double jab, you can go single jab, hard right straight, but when you right straight, you step off, switch left kick, bang, step up back into range. She's tall enough to do so. She can do that, right? And I want to see her utilize that a lot more, because the more she uses those body kicks, she occupies, especially the switch left kick, it occupies Jackie's defenses, it occupies that hands as right hands. It forces Jackie to do what? Take it, thrust block. She has to move, but you're giving her the options to be defensive. And I think the more Stella uses that left body kick a lot of the time, that's going to force Jackie to defend, and she can't be offensive. And that's going to give Stella the opportunity to set up her shots. Because what Jackie likes to do is when Jackie takes, or she blocks the kick, or she blocks a hard shot, Jackie has the switch where she blocks and goes forward, comes forward immediately. And what Stella did really well in the first fight was she timed those reactions from Jackie. It's like she knew if I kick Jackie hard here, she's going to retaliate. And when she retaliates, tags her with something hard, a right check hook or a left check hook, but tags Jackie with the entries, because Jackie does let those hands down when she goes forward. Super durable. I was surprised that she got knocked down by Stella, which also shows you how strong Stella really is. This is going to be the bigger gloves. It's kickboxing, right? So I think Jackie would be able to withstand the shots from Stella. I didn't really see a lot of power shots from Stella in the first fight that actually hurt Jackie outside of the body kick. Those knockdowns came from Jackie's relentless offense and ran into shots and kind of let the guard down. So that can happen to any fighter. When you committed, or what I like to say, pot committed, when you going all in on a strike and you let go of that defense, there's a high chance that you can get countered and actually get dropped by that. No matter how good you are, no matter how strong you are, that will happen. And that outside of that, I didn't see enough in that first fight where Stella was doing enough of the boxing to actually hurt Jackie, push her backwards, make a reset outside of maybe a sideways push kick. You know what I mean? So I think in kickboxing, because it's Stella's game, it's her world. She's probably going to fight a little bit differently. She's probably going to be a little bit more aggressive with the boxing, because now it's not small ounce gloves, and that could change the whole trajectory of the fight. But give me your thoughts in the comment section, guys. I think it's a fantastic matchup. I'm super excited for this fight. I really do want Jackie to win. I'll say it now. I really want Jackie to win. It doesn't mean she's going to be my pick for this fight, for our parlay. But as a fan, as a spectator, I wanted to win because it'll open up so many more storylines for this division. They are the top 2 strawweights right now when it comes to the disciplines of Muay Thai and kickboxing. I would love to see this rivalry go back. I'm in that camp where I don't really give a flying 2 fucks if fighters fight 3, 4, 5 times. I really don't. If they're the best of the best and they put on fights like that, like they did in the first fight, I want to watch it all the time. We had Gray Maynard and Frankie Edgar. We had Davison Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno. You know what I mean? There's lists that go on. Brock Lesnar and Frank Mir had a good rivalry. Well, I don't think they fought 5 times, but they had a very good rivalry. There's good names that you can go back in the history of combat sports that lit it up when they fought more than 3 times. Arturo Gatti and what's his name in boxing, they had 5 fights as well. Like, it's nice to see guys that have that kind of rivalry. And I feel like these 2 women on screen right now, Jackie Buntan and Stella Hemetsberger, 28 and 27 years old, at the peak of their powers right now. From now until the time that they're 32 years old, I want to see them throw down as much as possible. I really do, because I feel like they're the best right now. Obviously, there are other fighters outside of the organization that can come and compete with the 2 of them. But in one championship, I would love to watch these 2 women fight as much as possible. I know they don't want to do that, but if they're the two best consistently, you're going to have to fight each other. You know what I mean? I don't like this new age of, oh, we've seen it fight before, I don't want to see it again. Like, bullshit. If you're that good, you're that good. And you can fight again. I don't care if they fought 4 times. If they stay top 2 the whole time, it's not up to them. You know what I mean? It's up to the other contenders to put their name in the hat and actually take them on and put them out and beat them to change that constant rematch thing the whole time. But yeah, give me your thoughts in the comment section. What do you guys think of this fight? Who do you think is going to win? Who's got the better gun? Who's got the better opportunities here? But I personally feel like it's a very even fight, and stylistically, both women have the exact weapon to beat each other. It just comes down to who can execute on the night. Give me your thoughts in the comment section, guys, while I keep it moving to this massive, massive co-main event. Let's go. All right, co-main event. Interim featherweight Muay Thai title. We have Shadow Singamawin taking on Nico Carrillo, the king of the north. Let's go. This is going to be a fun one. I can't wait. I think both guys are deserved to be in the position that they're in right now. I personally feel like either guy could have fought for the unified title if Tawan Chao was still available. Literally because they are at that stages in their careers. But what a good timing for this fight, right? Shadow, 25 years old, on a good streak. His record in one championship is 6 wins, 2 losses, 1 no contest. He's got 1 win by KO, 2 wins by TKO, and he lost to Liu Mingyang by unanimous decision in his last fight. Nico Carrillo on the other hand is 27 years old, so a couple of years older. His record in one championship is 6 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest. He's got 2 wins by KO, 4 wins by TKO. So that means all his wins are finishes. 2-fight win streak, and he beat my guy Luke Lissay by second round TKO in his last fight. The Chef. Amazing fight. This is going to be an amazing fight. Also, it's Shadow's birthday today, so I want to wish Shadow a very happy birthday, turning 26. Actually, so he moved that number to 26, not 25. So he's still a couple of years older, and I think he looks like he's quite locked in. Obviously, with all these fights on this fight card, the big thing for me is what happens tomorrow at weigh-in and hydration day. That's where it all comes down to. That's when we know what this fight is going to look like on Saturday morning. The weigh-ins tells a lot of stories. So I'm purely basing what I'm saying. I'm basing my sort of X's and O's on what I've seen in the past in these guys, and also their last couple of fights, right? But all of that can get thrown out the window if they had a very bad weight cut. So let's look at some X's and O's. So for Shadow, let's start with the blue corner, Nico Carrillo. We know what he's like. I think at this featherweight division, it's the division for him. I don't think he needs to go up in any division or go down again. I think he needs to stay at featherweight. 155 is perfect for him. He looks fantastic here. He doesn't look like he's draining himself. And again, the guy is knocking everybody out. So what Nico really brings to the table for me is probably the hardest punch in the division, right? It was like that in bantamweight and in featherweight. I think he hits the hardest here. I think nobody's able to be able to withstand it outside of Nabil Anand. But then again, Nico wasn't even able to get close to landing a big shot from Nabil Anand. So in this division, it might be a little bit easier for him to land those kind of shots, right? So he's got the hardest punch for me, right? His style is built around relentless pressure, right? Phone booth kind of fight style, put you back on the ropes, keep you there, and looks to set up those big shots, right? You'll feint, you'll throw the hard jab, you'll feint, straight right, feint, boom, left shot to the body, comes up with the overhand right. You pretty much finish. If you survive in that, kudos to you. But most times fighters have never come back from those kind of combinations. I have seen lately Nico Carrillo introducing some calf kicks to his game, which I like actually, because he's a very powerful dude. And I was always wondering why are you primarily boxing in there? I get it's kind of like a cheat code, right? Because he's big and he's strong, and a lot of guys can't withstand his power. And in fact, in 4-ounce Muay Thai gloves, so it's like there's a cheat code to it. If you look at John Lineker, for example, right, it's a little bit of a cheat code because okay, cool, it's 4-ounce gloves. If I go in there and I just wail on my opponent, hard punches, but with good, competent defense, I can get knockouts. I can get those bonuses, right? That's what I'm fighting in big gloves, and we see it in MMA. You know, in MMA, people get lights out from jabs. You know, Drickus dropped fucking Whittaker with a straight right, boom, jab from the southpaw stance. So it's like these 4-ounce gloves give heavy punching power, like Black Panther, for example, on his fight card as well. It gives fighters like that big advantages, John Lineker big advantages for them to put people away in these small gloves Muay Thai. And that's probably why I've noticed people walking through everybody and why always wins are finishes and not decisions. Because no one can withstand this man's power. However, and this is a big however, there are flaws to his style, right? Number one, it's not very defensive style, so you can hit him back, right? It doesn't check any leg kicks. That has been a known problem of Nico Carrillo, and he keeps going on like, yeah, show me your leg kick me. Dude, Luke Lissay, he's a very crafty fighter, but he's made of glass, and he was able to leg kick Nico Carrillo so much that it forced Carrillo to just hunt for that KO. You could see in that fight, Carrillo wanted to take his time with it and jab and, work his way into the fight a little bit. But he got such heavy low kick that it gave him no choice but to get the finish early, because realistically, if he had continued like that in that like patient like fight, he probably wouldn't have had a front leg by the end of that fight. Promise you, he probably would have lost his front leg. A lot of damages would have happened to him, and I think that's something that we all know about Carrillo, and he still hasn't, for me, corrected that. He still takes leg kicks rather than actually checking them or even just getting out of the way and retaliating, right? That's for one. His boxing defense also, he does have a habit to keep the hands out here because he's feinting and he's throwing stuff and he's looking for that big shot. He doesn't keep it tight. He's susceptible to body kicks as well, which is one of Shadow's lovely weapons, especially when he gets in tight. I don't see Nico Carrillo take the fight to a clinch. I don't see him utilize elbows enough, and he does have mean elbows. He does have mean elbows. I've seen it before. He actually cracked Luke Lissay with one of them. But I don't see him go there enough. And like, also, why would you have to if he's outboxing everybody, right? But the reason I'm saying all these things is because he's going up against a fighter who, on paper, has more weapons. It is his discipline. It's Muay Thai. Shadow is the superior Muay Thai fighter. He knows how to use different avenues of the game, whether it's stepping knees, whether it's body shots, low kicks, elbows on the outside, counter elbows for the boxing, clinching, clinch knees, clinch elbows. Shadow can do that. He can put the fight into different avenues. And that's the big thing for me. You know what I mean? That's the big thing for me in this fight is what is Nico Carrillo going to do when he's faced up against somebody that, I said this yesterday on our podcast on the Gatkin, and I said, what is Nico Carrillo going to do when someone like Shadow keeps him in the clinch? Right? Because if you're keeping him in the clinch, you eliminate the boxing range. He can't strike you the way that he wants to. You put him into a domain he doesn't like. Right? Now you've got the elbows you have to worry about, which is Shadow's fucking good at this, right? You have to worry about those elbows. He might cut the angle but still keep the clinch and then throw a knee. He'll consistently throw that knee. Shadow is a very crafty fighter. He's super experienced, and he has fought big punches before. Now, that being said, Shadow has been dropped. He's been KO'd before. We've seen fights. I've seen fights where people have tagged him. Liu Mingyang dropped him because what happened? Shadow got sucked into a brawl. That's something that Carrillo is very good at. He knows how to put fighters in positions where they have no choice but to brawl with him. You get what I'm saying? And Shadow has shown signs of doing that before. That's how Carrillo, that's how Liu Mingyang was able to drop him, because he got hungry into a box and he got caught, right? The fight against Jonas Rabah, there was no contest, but I thought he was gonna take Jonas Rabah out of there. The other fight he fought against Mamuka Usubayan. Mamuka Usubayan was also able to knock him down, and Mamuka Usubayan is a very, very crafty fighter as well. Super creative in there, but I feel I'm trying to be a better kickboxer than he is a Muay Thai guy. But anyway, it's not about him. Why I'm highlighting these things is because Shadow has shown in the past that he can get tagged. You can hit him. And if you hit him hard enough, or if you get a knockdown on him, he's going to rush the knockdown back. He's shown us that he's done it before. And that's normally leads him to losing his fights. I wanna see. I know I said knocked out. I don't know why I'm saying knocked out, but I've seen Shadow taking punishment in the fights before, and I'm like, I don't like that. Now, that being said, his last few fights has changed. He has gotten a lot better, right? He's been a little bit more cerebral in there. But yeah, on the night, I think both guys are posing big threats here. For me, Shadow can get knocked down. If he does, it'll play into Nico Carrillo's hands. If he stays into a boxing fight with Carrillo, he probably loses this fight by finish. Shadow, on the other hand, if he fights a smart fight, picks up the pace early and not wait for the second round, pushes Carrillo back and looks for low kicks and body shots. But for me, if he keeps it in the clinch, I think he wins this fight every day of the week. But a tricky one to score, tricky one to actually lock it down, because it's just hard to really go against Carrillo at 4-ounce gloves. It's so difficult to pick against him. So difficult. I picked him to lose to Nabil. I'm not gonna lie, I did think Nabil was gonna beat him, and he did. But besides that, it's any of the other fights I've seen Carrillo fighting in, I was like, it's hard to pick against this guy, especially when it comes to 4-ounce Muay Thai. It's so difficult to pick against him because nobody else possesses his boxing power. Nobody else. On the other hand, every other fighter in this division don't primarily learn boxing. They are crafty enough to move away from it. And like everybody knows, sharp elbows beats boxing. So it's a very, very tricky fight to pick for both guys. But I would love to get your opinions on that in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think in the meantime. Give me your thoughts. Give me your picks in the comment section. Also, like, comment, share, and subscribe. We are boosting. So let's keep that boosting going. Again, I will remind you guys, I'm going to release my picks with these fight cards for One Friday Fights 142 and Fight Night 40 tomorrow on our If I Was a Betting Man segment. For now, I'm going to keep it moving to the next fight on the fight card. Let's go. I'm so excited. Right. Next fight, MMA, flyweight MMA. This is going to be a fun one. We have top 5 contendership here. I think both guys are pretty much that close to getting themselves a title shot, right? And I think a winner here can book themselves a ticket to that title shot, right? We do have Danny the King Ad taking on Hu Yong. Both guys are 30 years old, so everything is virtually identical, actually. Danny the King Ad has a little bit more experience. His record in one championship is 11 wins, 5 losses, 0 no contest. Sorry, I'm just fixing my microphone here. Yeah, he's got 1 win by TKO, 1 win by sub, 2 fight losing streak. He lost to Adriano Moraes by second round sub in his last fight. So I will say this now, Danny the King Ad has only lost to champions. That's it. Adriano Moraes, Yoel Akamatsu, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. He beat Tatsumi Wada, by the way. There's another guy, another champion that he lost to. What's his name now? Oh yeah, Karat Akhmetov. I saw Nick Atkin talking about this fight and actually wondering where Karat is, if he's going to come back at any point. But big wins, bro. A lot of everyone else outside of that, like, big wins. Doesn't lose. He even beat Yoel Akamatsu. He was 1-1 against him. So that just tells you the prowess of Danny the King and his resume and where he stands skillfully, right? We have Yu Yong on the other hand. He's 30 years old. His record in one championship is 8 wins, 3 losses in no contest. He's got 1 win by KO, 2 wins by TKO, 2 fight losing streak. Lost to Sanjar Zakirov by unanimous decision in his last fight. Must say, I thought he actually was doing. He also fought against Yoel Akamatsu. Pardon me. He also lost to Adis McLaren and he beat Eko Rani. That fight against Sanjar Zakirov, I remember watching that fight live, and I must say, I was impressed. Even though he lost the fight, I was impressed. This is something that these Russian-based Dagestani wrestling Caucasus fight style guys, what they do is that they have this thing where they just hold on to you for dear life, right? Especially if they're losing the fight, especially if they can't strike with you, they're gonna take down relentlessly until they get it, and when they get it, they're gonna hold you down there so that they can't lose the round. You can't score against it, right? And that's what Sanjar Zakirov did in that fight. Outside of that, Young was fucking him up. Better boxing, sharper striking, good body shots, good leg kicks, good takedown defense. Zakirov, I watched enough of Zakirov. He's a cocky little bastard. I watched a lot of his fights. If he can't beat you up with being all this creative shit in there, right, then he's gonna grapple for dear life. Now, on the contrast of that, you've got Abbasbek Kulmirzaev, who's in the same division, right? And I feel like he's very close to a title shot as well, being only 24 years old. Also from Uzbekistan, right? You watch him fight. He don't fight like no coward. He don't really hang on for dear life if he's getting beaten up. He fights back, right? He fights back hard. and he looks for takedowns, he looks for submissions, he tries to finish fights every single time. Zakirov was holding on to their life in the fight against Young. He didn't want to finish that fight. He just held on to, because also Young had such good takedown defense and he was so strong and good submission defense as well. Zakirov couldn't really go any further than maybe just grab in the back or get in top control. And he barely even had top control. He just grabbed the back the whole time. And that, to me, I find that as a pattern when I watch these Dagestani fighters fight, right? Where they do that because there's no what I noticed, there's no next phase. It's like, where do I go from here? But if I stay here, I'm not losing. So it's like, you know what I mean? You're not going to score. It's like they found that loophole in the judging system, and that's how they keep winning their fights. Outside of like, I'm not throwing shame on them. They are brilliant masters at it. They are tough to beat. But you can, and I just think it's up to the other fighters to do something different about it. Young, unfortunately, you couldn't get him off his back. Bringing it back to this fight, why I'm highlighting all those things there is because in this fight, I do think Young is the superior striker, right? I do find him to have the better striking. He's sharper, he's faster, he's got longer range than Danny King had. I don't know if he's stronger than Danny though, but I mean his striking is really good, right? So I had here sharper boxing, good body kicks. We'll have to use a lot of low kicks to manage the distance of Danny, maybe even stop the movement from Danny so that he can prevent the hard wrestling shots, right? Shooting for takedowns. Has to keep the fight standing. That's how he wins this fight for me. Danny, on the other hand, will have to do what he does best, and that is relentless wrestling, heavy top pressure, heavy ground and pound. Classic Danny King had specialty, right? That's what he does. That's how he wins his fights. And that's what's probably what I see the fight's going to happen. It's going to be a battle of Young time to keep the fight on the feet, keep his hips away, sprawling, cutting the angles, using wizards, staying on his feet, right? Danny King, and on the other hand, he's gonna have to be relentless. I think when they're standing and banging, the more they stay standing, the less opportunity for Danny gets to win this fight. Actually, not saying he's not a good striker, right? But let's be real. Danny doesn't really go in there and look for knockouts. How many fights? 11 plus 5. What's that? That's 16 fights in one championship. 1 win by TKO, 1 win by sub in 16 fights. It's not a high finishing rate, right? That just tells you his boxing isn't really one to not to be worried about, because it can be effective in the sense that he doesn't have to knock you out, but he can strike enough for you to give up your hips, and then he can just take you down and then back into Danny's world, right? So there's a lot for you to worry about. But I think for the most part, if he attacks the legs very early, a lot of the time, it's going to force the wrestler to sort of rethink how they're going to do that shot. They might even panic shoot on you, which will make it easier for you to maybe look for a knee or step out of the way, throw a shot down the pipe, keep the fight standing. So interesting matchup here. You've got classic grappler versus striker matchup. So keep to see who wins. A lot at stake here. And again, whoever wins here for me definitely books themselves a shot at the champ again in Yuya Wakamatsu, especially because both guys fought against Wakamatsu. I think it will be a good thing for them, but they have to keep a lookout over their shoulder because Abbasbek, Kulmurzaev, and Sanjo Zakirov are waiting in the wings. But give me your thoughts in the comment section, guys, while I keep it moving to the next fight. Let's go. Okay. Just looking down. I'm just reading off my notes as I'm going through fights. All right, so I did not put any notes down for this fight purely because I'm just not emotionally invested in this fight, and the reason being is it's nothing to do with the heavyweight division, or actually there's a lot to do with the heavyweight division, and I think it's more to do with the promotion, with one championship and how they promote the heavyweight division in any of their disciplines. It's a little bit like we consider you guys lost, and it's a little bit frustrating for me. So it's hard, and the reason why it's frustrating for me is because it's hard to get invested into a division that doesn't really get the spotlight. It's just difficult to invest, especially when there's no ranking systems. I mean, UFC's got a ranking system, and I'm not even investing in their heavyweight division. And also, to be quite frank with you, Ben Tannen, he looks more like a guy that's fun to listen to because he's so funny on the microphone. He's a fun character. But I don't know if I want to watch him fight. I don't know. It doesn't make me want to be invested in it because it's a little bit of a snooze fest. He even used it himself, snooze fest. Right? The fight against Krishenko was a little bit disappointing. Before I get into that, let's look at the numbers. Ben Tannen is 31 years old. Right? The record in one championship is 1 win, 1 loss, 1 no contest. 1 win by sub, lost to Krishenko by unanimous decision in his last fight. boring as fuck. Hugo Takauchi is now a fun guy to watch. Still very naive in the game. 22 years old, the Record 1 Championship is one win, 2 losses in a contest. 1 win by KO, lost to Shamil Erdogan by first round TKO in his last fight. But that's because he's that kind of fighter. Takauchi is like that. He's going in there, he's going to kickbox with you. And I think that's what a lot of fans love about the heavyweight division is when these big dudes go in there and they actually fight, right? For me personally, I don't mind seeing heavyweight guys wrestle. I really don't mind, as long as it's like Fabricio Verdum level. You know what I mean? Or let's think of another good heavyweight wrestler that was insane back in the day. What was his name? Cain Velasquez. Right? One of the heavyweight fighters that was so well rounded. He could box, he could kickbox, he could wrestle, he's got jiu-jitsu. Right? That generation of heavyweight fighters were brilliant to watch. They could do it all, right? And for some reason, it just lost its sort of pizzazz, you know. And I think with this fight, Ben Tannen could be grateful here because he did say the fight with Krashenko in the Nick Atkin podcast. Go check it out. He did say that it was a bit of a snooze fest. He didn't enjoy the fight against Krashenko because a lot of hugging up against the ropes and no progression in the grappling. It's not like, okay, we're clinching and we got maybe 2-on-1 and then from there we don't move to the next phase. We don't maybe sweep the leg from there, like as you push over, get a double underhook and then sweep or outside. None of that was happening. They were just stalling the whole time, and that was very frustrating to watch. And there's one thing I hate about in MMA is if I said this last week as well, if we're going to grapple each other and one guy can feel that or lady can feel that they have the advantages here, and you can get to dominant position and you do it multiple times in each round, then finish the fucking fight. Finish the fight, right? Finish it. You can clearly see that this fighter is not able to deal with your grappling. They're struggling to get you off them. They can't move to the next phase. They don't know how to create the scramble. Push your elbow through that eyeball. Break a nose. You know what I mean? Do something to end this fight. You're clearly dominating them, right? And when you see someone clinching like this up against the cage or up against the ropes and no progression to the next phase, I'm like, nah. You know what you do? You duck them from their purse for putting on snooze fests. But Ryogo Takauchi is the kind of fighter that doesn't do that. He doesn't snooze fest anything. That's the reason why he's lost 2 fights. You could argue that because he's younger, but I feel like his style doesn't allow it either. He's such a heavy kickboxer. He doesn't really want to grapple with you. He wants to go in and throw body kicks and get wild and make it a bit of a tornado in there. That can bring him a lot of success, but it also brings him a lot of losses because as much as he has got a lot of knockout power and he's fast and he's got good kickboxing, Takauchi does get a little bit sloppy. He does a little bit throw punches and then falls over his own shot sometimes. And he, you know what I mean? He throws himself off balance. And I don't like that in a fight. I don't like it for any fighter to do that. I think it's too reckless, right? If you're going to wail on somebody, if you're going to put your bigger shot into it, then set it up. Set it up. Don't just throw it out there in the open. Set that shit up. You know what I mean? Condition them with something first. Maybe like 4 body shots over a course of 5 minutes. Next round, you throw another body shot. Next time you feint it and you come over the top. You know what I mean? Condition them. Don't just wail in there like your whole life depends on it, because it doesn't. Your life doesn't depend on it. You got so many more fights you can go up against. It's your career. So the more you stay at it, the more chances you're going to get. You don't have to fight like this is your last fight only. And I think Takauchi is going to have to be smart about that approach. For Ben Tannen, I don't know what he needs to do differently. I think a smart fight would be to actually take him down. Take Takauchi down because that's his weakness. You take him down, you can submit him, you can TKO him, you can do a lot of things to him because he doesn't have a very good takedown defense and ability to get back up to his feet. And Ben Tannen is a good wrestler, or at least that's like one of his games. He shoots for takedowns a lot. So that's the keys to victory for Ben Tannen. Take him down, ground and pound. Don't try and strike him out in the open. I think you're gonna lose the fight if you do that. And Takauchi needs to sort of manage that fire that burns out of him. Manage that. Because if you fight smart, you can use that adrenaline dump for the remainder of the fight. You don't have to just use it in the first minute of the first round, which is what he does all the time. But exciting fight. I think that's a big fight for the heavyweight division, considering the landscape of it. I also think for the fans, I think this fight's actually going to be a fun one to watch. Give me your thoughts in the comment section, guys, while I keep it moving to a banger fight that's up next. Let's go. Lightweight MMA, we have Adrian Lee taking on Shozo Isojima, the lightweight MMA division. Adrian Lee is 19 years old. He is the younger brother of Christian Lee, current welterweight and lightweight champion, MMA champion, I think it is. Which lightweight, middleweight, lightweight and welterweight. Yeah. Adrian Lee's record in one championship is 3 wins, 1 loss in no contest, 3 wins by sub, lost to Tai Ruitolo by second round sub in his last fight. Shows that Sujima is 28 years old, almost a 10-year gap between the two guys. His record in one championship is 1 win, 1 loss in no contest. He's got 1 win by TKO. He lost to Tai Ruitolo, first round sub in his last fight. So both guys lost to the same guy, 1 in the first round, 1 in the second round, in the exact same fashion, by the way. They both got tapped out exactly the same way. So what am I finding interesting about this fight? To be quite honest with you, both guys have got a very similar skill set. Both guys like to grapple. Both guys like to. They got competent striking, but their style is almost identical. I will say the big differences for me is that Adrian is a little bit more of a firecracker than Shozo. Shozo is a little bit more measured. Right? He wants to be a little bit patient, but aggressive with that patience. So he's gonna go forward. He's gonna put the pressure on you, pop out that jab, throw a 2, throw a calf kick, but then he's gonna look for that takedowns, control you. The way he did against Lucas Vigna, he's very aggressive on the ground, but he just matched up against Tai, and Tai, obviously, as we know, light years ahead of him when it comes to grappling, and quite big for the division. I mean, Tai used to compete at at middleweight. That's how intense that kid really is. Adrian Lee, coming from a massive family, big background. Christian Lee, what's the sisters? Angela Lee, all champions. So he's got a lot of experience to lean on, a lot of information you can take from the gym he comes from. Pardon me. I think for Adrian Lee in this fight, be patient, right? I know he's talking about a first round KO and all that kind of stuff, and he probably can get it. But I think he's going to have to be patient, because one thing I saw in that first fight against Tai Ruitolo, and actually all his fights, is that he just goes 100 miles an hour from the first whistle. Fight starts, ding, and he's just going, and he's going, and he's going, he's going. And something I notice a lot in the MMA when it comes to one championship, a lot of these guys don't fight as if they know they got 5 rounds. You know what I mean? It's just a high pace from the get-go, and then we get tired fighters in the second and third round. And this is actually across all divisions, guys. It's not mainly in the bigger divisions. This is across all the divisions. I don't know what it is in one championship. Maybe it's the bonus chasing, but these guys go hard from the first round, and it makes for good spectacles to watch. But we all know, as fight fans, fight enthusiasts, even fighters and gym owners and coaches, they will tell you that's not a smart way to fight, especially when it comes to the championship level. You want to be able to fight at a 3/4 pace for 5 rounds rather than a maximum pace for 2 rounds. You want to be able to go 3/4 all the way, right? That's for me is a sign of a fit athlete. If you can go 3/4 pace every single round, that means you're on a high level. Because that means for you to be able to do that means that at any time in the fight you can switch on and go high pace and come down again and control. Because the only way you can do something like that, it means that you must be able to manage your gas tank. And to manage your gas tank, you must go 3/4 pace for as long as you can. Don't go maximum pace all the time, because you need to take breaks. That's not smart. But 3/4 is higher than average pace, and if you can do it the whole time, that means your heart is at a good resting rate, and you can just go and go and go. And I like that, and I think Adrian needs to learn that, because he's such a fast-paced kind of fighter, one-round kind of specialist, that when he does go up against someone in the later rounds, i.e. Tai Ruitolo, look what happened, you got tapped out. A little bit of inexperience, but I expect him to get better at it. For Shozo, experience should carry him in this fight. I just wonder how he will deal with the pressure. So what I have written down is Adrian Lee needs to be aggressive, but be composed. Patiently find the kill shot. Don't just go in there and wail on him, right? He does have the superior, well-rounded game, right? He can wrestle, he can jiu-jitsu, he can strike, but he needs to combine all of those things in a way that he's also managing his stamina and not just be so relentless in there. Yes, it can not just be so aggressive. That can lead to finishes, but it can also lead to you being finished. Shozo, on the other hand, should focus making this fight grappling heavy, weighing on Adrian Lee. I feel like the longer the fight goes on, the more Adrian Lee will get in his head. He's younger. He wants to get that finish. He wants to end that fight. He wants to go out there with a bang. I think Shozo should grapple with him early, weigh on him. Don't push all your energy and get in that takedown. Just stay on him. Be a wet blanket. Stomp the knee, the toes, knees to the inner thighs, elbows. Strike him. Try and put him down. If he reverses or fights back, fine. Bring him back up to the clinch. Keep striking on him. make him defend that the whole time. Adrian Lee has shown us in the past that he's such a energizer battery that when you want to grapple with him, he's gonna fight back. He's gonna do whatever he can to get you off him. Look how he fought against Tairo Tono, and that led to him having no energy in the second round. Right? That's how you beat someone as young and vibrant with the nature of Adrian Lee. That fireball energy. You need to almost put the weight blanket over it. Like stop, just calm it down. And the more you do that, the more he's gonna get tired and get annoyed. And he's like, I can't get this finish. I can't get this guy off me. It's gonna eat on him. And then he's gonna show you those targets. He's gonna give you an arm to grab. Then you can put in a Kimura. He's gonna give you a neck to grab. You can get up that rear naked choke or a guillotine choke. But that's how you beat someone like that. In my opinion, how you beat someone like Adrian Lee is you don't go and try and knock him out because he can knock you out. You need to beat him mentally. He's such a skillful fighter. You need to beat him mentally. You need to make him get annoyed at things. Make his mind think about other stuff, like not able to get you off him, or not able to get him off you, or not able to, you make him doubt the things and makes him go make him get frustrated in it because he can't do what he wants to do and he's not comfortable getting into his striking positions. He will show you those targets and then you can actually tag him. Can Shoja knock him out? I don't know, but you can certainly tap him out. It's a tricky fight to watch. It's a tricky fight to predict. But I think stylistically, it should favor Adrian Lee. I just don't know if he's going to be successful on the night because Shoja can be a little bit of a pest. You can pester him, and I think that's the keys to beating someone like Adrian Lee. Give me your thoughts in the comment section. I'd love to hear what you guys think about that fight. It's a big one for Adrian Lee, for both guys actually, to make the rise to the top of the lightweight division. Long way to go, but let's see what happens here. For now, I will keep it moving. Okay, staying in the lightweight division, we have Lucas Gabriel taking on Magomed Akayev. And this is going to be an interesting fight here. So Lucas Gabriel, 26 years old. He's pretty much 103 wins, 0 losses, 1 no contest. He's 1 win by sub. He fought to a no contest in Sean Pang in his last fight. I thought he did a good job in that fight up until, I think it was an eye poke, if I'm not mistaken. But he wasn't doing half bad against a very top contender. Someone I thought he was going to lose to, by the way. Magomed Akayev, 29 years old. His record in one championship is 0 wins, 1 loss, no contest. Lost to Ibrahim Tayev by unanimous decision in that fight. And I was a little bit underwhelmed by Magomed Akayev's performance. I expected more from him in that fight. But we didn't get to see it. In fact, Ibrahim Tayev was able to do to Magomed was going to try and do to Ibrahim, which was aggressive grappling, relentless pressure, lots of top control, kept him tired. And I saw enough in that fight to know either Akayev had a very bad weight cut going into that fight, or he doesn't have good stamina in the later rounds. And that's a bit of a worrying sign for me. He's got a lot of big accolades coming into one championship. Big name as well out of Russia. If I read here, he's got a lot of backing from the Dagestani hopeful there. Fought since he was 11 years old. Beyond the professional, he's dominated the Hype FC promotion TV in Russia. The guy's pretty much done the big things out there in his regional scene, right? Dominant wrestler, but I don't know if he can do it in the later rounds. His striking wasn't there. Look, he's from Dagestan, right? So you know what these wrestling guys are like. They're hardcore, and once they get you down, they get you down. And Lucas, I don't know what he looks like when he's on bottom control. When he's on bottom, what's his guard like? Is he a good guard player? Can he get back to his feet? Right? Like, what's his buzz? I will say this. His heart is something that I will never question. Lucas Gabriel has got something I noticed that can be a weapon. It's a little bit like Merab. He doesn't get tired. Right? He weaponizes his stamina. What I wrote down here was push the pace, high volume, weaponize that gas tank, which is how he won most of his fights in one so far. Right? He was able to not get tired, take the damage, but fight back so hard. He's a relentless go-getter, and he knows how to go, but manage the gas tank like Merab. He keeps you back up in the corner. He's striking with you. He shoots. He can't get taken. He comes back up, goes back, shoots again, gets you down, looks for shots, looks for submissions. And he's patient with it, but patient in a way where he's always setting something up. He's not just patient, holding on you and like waiting for something to happen. No, he's always playing chess. He's always moving the pieces to get you to fall into a pit of something and then catches you with something big, right? So Lucas Gabriel, the game plan is clear for him, right? Because there are weaknesses for Magomed Akayev. He does get tired. He does get tired in the later rounds. Doesn't have the best striking. It's just like his striking sets up his grappling mainly. He doesn't strike to finish fights. He strikes to set up the grappling. So I had Akayev. Actually, the only thing I wrote down for Akayev was his biggest problem with me was the energy in the later rounds. That's it. I will never question his grappling. Never. I think it's very high level. I think it's a grappling style that, let's be real, for the last 10 years in MMA, people have been battling to beat the Dagestani wrestling. They don't know how to get around it, so we know that, right? So, but I think Lucas Gabriel's style can be a problem for Magomed Akayev. Yeah, I think it can. It all depends on what this guys look like at weigh-in day. Give me your thoughts in the comment section about this one. It's a big fight for the guys, considering the landscape of the lightweight MMA division. Having the Total brothers into the division, we're having a fight above this fight, Adrian Lee and Shozo. That's for ranking. This fight could also be for rankings. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section and give me your picks. Also, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let's go to the next one. I'm not going to give any opinions about this fight. I didn't go and put a lot of research into this one. Other than that, I know Fabricio Andre is a very, very good jiu-jitsu player, top-level guy. I think he won ADCC. I think he's BJJ. Let me just see here. Yeah, IBJJF world champion. ADCC South American trials, Europeans. Like, this guy has done it. He's a monster, right? And he's only 25 years old. So let's go to some numbers. 25 years old, they could in one championship, 2 wins, they lost contest, beat Eduardo by unanimous decision in his last fight. Eduardo Granzotto. And before he beat Ashley Williams, another UK guy. It's his featherweight, but I think they're a little bit bigger than featherweight, to be honest. I don't know anything about João Pedro Bueno Mendes. I didn't go do enough research on it either, purely because this fight doesn't really interest me that much. But I'm going to watch it because we're going to be doing a live watch along, obviously, and I'll keep an eye on it because One Championship is not going to take it to the BJJ scene. So I'm going to keep my eye on it and have a look and see what happens here. But I don't have any picks for you guys. Well, if I must call one, I'll probably say Fabricio, but I'm not going to put that in our parlay. Right, let's keep it moving. Back is hurting. Okay. Now this fight's gonna be quite well to watch. I'm interested in this one for sure, because I might have seen Gabriel Fujimoto before. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't One Championship book her for a fight once at One Championship before? I don't know, but that face just looks so familiar. I've seen it before. I know she's undefeated. That's one thing. So we have Jean Rajuwan Shadowcat back again from Malaysia. This is at MMA. She's 27 years old. The record in One Championship is 8 wins, 5 losses. Contest, 3 wins by sub, 2-fight losing streak. She lost to Macarena Aragon by unanimous decision in the last fight. That was very surprising, by the way. Who's the current champion? Oh, Zamboanga. Yeah. So that's Shadowcat. She's got a good record. Obviously, we know she's one of the mainstays in the division. Still very young, only 27 years old. Gabriela Fujimoto is 22 years old, making a One Championship debut. She's 7-0 in the professional record. She fights out of LFA. Not a bad fighter, aggressive striker. She's primarily a striker, super aggressive, fights long and rangy. I think what I had here was Gabby is a bit of a bigger striker, long and rangy. Got good power, good low kicks, good high kicks, good striking, and when she's on bottom, when she's on top control, good devastating ground and pound. I think she's a taller fighter between the two as well. She's got that range over Shadowcat. But I do believe that Shadowcat's wrestling will be a big threat for her. So Shadowcat will have to keep this fight on the ground, be relentless with pressure and wrestling. Maybe look for subs on the ground and ground and pound things, which I think she can. And I believe that Shadowcat's wrestling is much better than Gabriel Fujimoto's last opponent, which I watched tape on it, by the way. And she was able to get she was able to take Gabriela Fujimoto down a few times in that 3-round fight. Even though she still won, I think she was able to be taken down a lot easy in that fight. And I think Shadowcat's a better wrestler than her last opponent. So, interesting fight to watch. Of course, it's a return Shadowcat. She has had bad weight cuts in the past. That's also why she had the 2 losses. She was talking about it. Because also, I was surprised she lost to Makarena Aragon. I was like, how? Aragon, you're supposed to walk through. But she lost, and I think she spoke about it. Her weight cut was bad. And even though she made the weight, she was depleted. And Aragon didn't make weight in that day. She was a bigger fighter on the day. Interesting matchup here. I'm keen to see what Shadowcat how she deals with the low kick and the sharp boxing and the range of Fujimoto. Does she stay and stand and bang with her? Does she, which is what she knows Fujimoto loves to do, or does she take her down regularly in every round and ground and pound and tag each round? Right? What's the game plan going to be? I think Shadowcat mustn't stand and strike with her. She's going to lose the fight. She does that. I think she takes it to the ground. She gives herself a fair chance to win each round. But give me your thoughts in the comment section. It's a nice fight to watch, especially considering that the division is looking for a contender now. I know Yaka Miura won. I know that Chihiro Sawada is there. Aragon. Who else is there? There's Shadowcat I just mentioned. Hopefully Sambawanga comes back. Stamp doesn't want to fight MMA anymore, apparently because of the knees. So I'm keen to see what happens next for this division, because we need to have a definitive champion, right? Give me thoughts in the comment section, guys, while I keep it moving. All right. Lastly, we have the opening fight of this fight card. My final breakdown. We have Black Panther taking on, I'm going to say Shadowcat again, taking on Diego Paez out of the United States. He's flyweight Muay Thai. I'm going to say it first things first. Interested to see to see Black Panther fighting flyweight again. His last fight was at bantamweight, and I thought he looked fantastic at bantamweight. He may be a little bit undersized for the bantamweight division, considering who else is in the bantamweight division. But I thought he looked good at that division. But he also fought against average size flyweight in Johannes Stupinan. Black Panther is 26 years old. His record in one championship is 4 wins, 1 loss in no contest. He got 1 win by KO, 1 win by TKO, 4-5 wins, still beating Johannes Stupinan by second round TKO. In his last fight, Diego Paez is 32 years old. His record in one championship is 1 win, 1 loss in no contest. He beat Jojo Gonzalez in his last fight. I think he lost to Sean Klamika, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he did. Split decision. I thought he actually won that fight. But anyway, thing about Diego Paez, what I like about Diego Paez is, I'm not sure people know this, but he's actually a Muay Thai coach out there in the US. And he's actually now, let me just double check here quickly. Diego Paez, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's a multiple time either US Muay Thai champion or let me just see here. Diego Paez. Yeah, no, this guy's good. 6-time multiple time Muay Thai champion. But also a very good coach. Like, I've watched some of his coaching sessions, and I've seen some of the videos and the tapes, and even where he coaches his son. And he's such a knowledgeable fighter. He's got good game plan. I mean, the fight against Jojo Gonzalez, I think there was a questionable win for people. I know he still spoke about it with Nick Atkin in the interview. People thought he lost that fight. It was a close fight, but I think he did do enough in the small moments to win the fight. Whereas Jojo wasn't really changing up his offense. He became a little bit too predictable for Diego in that fight, in my opinion. He's fighting against a power puncher, someone that's massive. If I just look at the tape, 5'6" is Diego Paez, right? And I think Black Panther is a little bit taller than that. Also 5'6", but I think he might have the longer arm reach and leg reach. So it's gonna be a tricky fight, because I think Diego Paez is gonna have to utilize his full understanding of distance management. I don't know if he will have the power shot to put Black Panther out, but I do think that he can outland him for the 3 rounds. He's gonna have to play distance in this fight. I don't think he can stay there in the pocket too long. Black Panther is too strong there and he's too powerful. And he's dominant, and Black Panther doesn't take a backward step. So I think Paez is going to have to fight counter-fighting in this fight. I want to say that walking forward will be the keys to beating Black Panther, but I don't know if that's the key. I think for Black Panther, you need to from what I've gathered on tape, you need to attack the legs a lot, but also be sharp with the counter strike. And he said, Black Panther is such a heavy pressure fighter that he wants to walk you down and bully you and look for those big shots, right? But that's actually where you can catch him, is in those relentless pressures. There were the fight he did lose. I think he got knocked out. Yeah, Tajir Carrillo knocked him out in the first round. Carrillo is a little bit of a different style. Carrillo is also relatively a big flyweight, and he just walked Black Panther down and just attacked him with like speed and precision and like different movements and stuff, right? Eventually it led to Black Panther's demise and he got KO'd. Because Black Panther isn't a high volume striker. He's a one punch guy. He's a one kick kind of guy. Full power. I'm going to throw it at different speed, at different intervals. But when I'm going to throw it, you're going to feel the power of this. That's Black Panther, right? I think Pius is going to have to be smart here. He can't fight this fight gun for gun, punch for punch here. I think he's going to be surprised by the power of Black Panther. But, it's a big but, Pius does have the skill set and the understanding on how to beat someone like Black Panther. You don't become a 6-time world champion, multiple champion, if you have not fought styles like Black Panther. And you don't become a coach that is pretty well recognized and then you haven't fought against someone like Black Panther. So I do believe that he does have a game plan. I'm not too sure what the game plan is going to be, but let's see what he produces on the night. Give me your thoughts in the comment section about that fight. We're super hyped for this fight because it's going to be a banger. It's going to be a very big banger on the fight night come this Saturday morning. But okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is my time. If you've made this far, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It is one fight night 40. Jackie Buntan with still Hemetsberger number 2. It is the rematch this Saturday, 14th of February at 4 a.m. South African time. From myself and the Fighting with Friends team, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have yourself a very good Wednesday. We'll be watching from. Much love to all. Go check out Nick Atkins' podcast. He's got all the interviews of the fighters on the podcast right now. Go check out our episode with Nick Atkins as well. It was a wonderful, wonderful conversation we had with him. Lots of insights to one championship and the background of one championship as well, and what's happening behind the scenes. And also just some good talks about this fight card as well. So much love to Nick Atkins for doing a wonderful job out there. But again, from myself and the Fighting with Friends team, have yourself a fantastic day, evening, morning. And much love to all of you guys, and we will see you on the next one. Cheers, everybody.